Here we go. My first NBA game. This is something I've been waiting for my entire life. And to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. But I know this is where I belong. So I just gotta get out there and do what I was born to do. I hope I can make my family proud.
And you've got it on 2K Sports for Wednesday night action in the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke on our sideline. Here in Memphis, we have an interconference match. Long dream, a special individual taking to the hardwood as we'll get to watch the first official NBA appearance from Freak.
You know, and what a huge moment this is for him. I mean, your whole life has been spent leading up to this, and finally he's going to get to take the court in the NBA. I mean, his mind has to be racing like a million miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, there are all different kinds of pressure situations. This is about as nerve-wracking as it gets. But even so, I don't think it takes away from how much he enjoys it.
And so in the game for the Cavaliers, Thompson and Varejao at the 4 and 5. Amon Shumpert is out there with Mo Williams, and it's Jefferson in at the 3. And it's Udrich in the corner. To the inside, and Green slams it in.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
And Beno Udrich, a 6'3 lefty combo guard out of Yugoslavia. He can run the pick and roll and has really improved from mid-range. Can square up and bury it at a moment's notice.
And Williams, here we go. He's off from 17 feet.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Yeah, I like the way they're setting the tone. Really playing with a lot of energy here at the start.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Yeah, but in this case, I think he got it right. I mean, the defender was still moving there and never really had good legal guarding position. He wasn't set.
And Udrich kicks to Freak. Shoots from the line. They get it back. Cleveland's gone a meager 1 of 6 from three-point land since we got started tonight. Jefferson's shot is off.
I still can't believe that one didn't fall.
Udrich, the pass to Green. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Now here's Freak. He's guarded closely. Will not go. This is off the front iron. And the Cavaliers pushing it up now. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give them 2 chances at the free throw line here.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the official.
With the new group. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. So on the floor for Cleveland, LeBron and Love are the talented pair at the forward position. Kyrie Irving and J.R. Smith at the guard set. And it's Mozgov in at the 5 spot. Well, Memphis loves the grit and grind mentality of this Grizzlies team. We all know that. They are at their most fearsome, I think, right here in the grindhouse.
No doubt about it. Some names just stick, and everyone here knows when you say grindhouse, you're talking about the FedEx Forum. Memphis so strong in this building.
The Cavaliers trail by 3. Outside Irving. Yes, it's James picking up the assist.
The mid-range jumper is a high percentage shot for him, and when he's got that much room, forget about it.
Well, I tell you, last year, guys, the Grizzlies lived up to the nickname of the grindhouse. Top 5 defense here at home, and a lot of close wins that could have gone either way, but they grinded them out.
Irving dishes to LeBron. Back to Irving. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Kicks it to Love. A shot goes in. First of the night. He's 1 for 3 to start the game.
And those close wins and that blue-collar attitude is really what helped Memphis get to a 31-10 record here at home. I mean, good for second-best home record in that very tough Western Conference.
And it goes as So we've reached the end of the first half of play. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far. So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Barnes, he's checked in for Randall. Carter comes in for Green. Freaks checked in for Allen. And it's Udrih in for Mike Conley. Cleveland also making some changes. Anderson Varejão's checked in for Mozgov. Thompson comes in for Kevin Love. And it's Iman Shumpert in for J.R. Smith. Freak in at shooting guard. Carter is out there with Barnes. And it's Udrih. And it's Gasol in at center. That's the lineup out there for the Grizzlies.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for Memphis.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did.
Down is their first official win of the new year.
And in a two-game season series, you love taking charge of game one. That's obvious, and exactly what they're doing here tonight against the Cavs.
And what a huge standout performance it was for Gasol. And the way he was able to dice up their D with his passing really made things easy for everyone else on his team.
He used that pick just right.
They clearly look like a different team now. Suddenly, they've got some energy out on the floor.
Yeah, but it's come a little too late to have a real impact on the game, though. We call this box score window dressing. All it's going to do is make the numbers look a little better than it was.
And it's Freak missing. Now Shumpert. So no problem for Memphis as they get the win. And
the 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now let's move on to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Marc Gasol. Talk about lighting it up in the second quarter. My word, that was just huge. And the impact carried them through the... And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal.
Steph Curry and the Warriors next game. I've been looking forward to this for a while now. You know they'll be running and gunning. And Steph's gonna do 2 or 3 things that make you want to stop and stare. But we can't let that distract us. Because if we lose focus for even a second, they'll be up 20. So maybe it's up to me to put on a little show of my own.
We go 0 to 100 real quick. Maybe he on that rap to pay the bill. And now I'm finished, not even a little bit. Oh, Lord.
We've got basketball at Oracle Arena, the home of the Warriors in Oakland, California. Live on 2K Sports. Well, it was the Golden State Warriors winning their last game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. 16 seconds left to play here in the first. So the Grizzlies 5 right now. Freak in a 2-guard. He's out there with Brandon Wright. And it's Stokes into the power forward. Here's Livingston. And that's not going to go. A good close contest. And Steph Curry, a player within the gym range. He told us about his comfort stretching the floor.
I mean, we're 5-6 feet outside that three-point line. If I have a dribble, if I catch and shoot, if I have a good look, I think Coach will allow me to take that shot. And it's tough to guard, especially when you see a couple go in. That basket gets a lot bigger.
I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look to Steph Curry? And tough to guard might be the understatement of the day.
I mean, he is just an insanely great shooter. I mean, arguably, I don't think there's an argument. He's the best shooter in the world. The argument is whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Curry is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. What do you guys think about the Warriors here so far?
It's all about their defense. They have just done a terrific job of negating the timing and spacing of their opponent.
Every shot is challenged and challenged well.
So on the floor to begin things for Memphis here in the second quarter. Freak in at shooting guard. Wright is out there with Carter. And it's Udrih. And it's Stokes in at the center position. And it's Freak missing.
And Maurice Spates last season was the best year of his career. I mean, he shot them.
There's 1:26 left in the second quarter. Here's Udrih. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Here's Freak. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Freak makes the bucket. An important momentous occasion for this young guy, getting his first points in an NBA uniform. Here is Livingston. He's guarded by Udrih. Here's Bogut. Misses the layup.
And this is why you need good defenders on the interior to contest shots.
Yeah, Greg, making every shot a hard one, even the shots in close.
Barnes dishes to Green. Here's the teardrop. Here's Bogut. Boom, he jams it straight down.
The defense just gets caught standing around that time and giving up the second chance opportunity.
You know, that just can't happen. They need much more effort than that on the glass.
Freak kicks to Stokes. There's the dish to Freak. To the right side. There's a good screen. Clock is at 3. Udrih, the pass to Freak. And here we go with Barbosa. Heading to the hoop. Good. Barbosa's got 4 this quarter.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that can't continue. I mean, if they hope to get back in this game, I mean, it's really deflating from a morale standpoint. They need stops and points, not turnovers.
So,
thank you, Kevin. Andre, what has been the under...
and as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a... So it's Memphis picking up the win. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this.
Well, gentlemen, I'm here with...
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Mike Conley. When they needed a leader to get them back in the game in the final quarter, he was the one they were all following. And that'll do it for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports.
Tell you about Vic. He has his bad rap. It's not. Oh man, Anthony Davis. One of the most unique talents in the NBA. I see a lot of myself in him. I can't wait to face him and see if I can get the upper hand. I know I'm still a rookie, but it's the ultimate test to see where my game is at right now. And I live for these moments. So bring it on, Brown. It's the NBA on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you all the action.
This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke reporting on the field. So on the floor for Memphis. Freak in at shooting guard. Wright is out there with Green, and it's Udrich, and it's Carter in at the 3 slot. The basket's coming. And here's Freak on his experience as a one-and-done college player.
It was definitely a hard decision. I had to sit down with my family and weigh the options and really take the time to figure out what's best for me. It was tough. I mean, I loved my team, my coaches, and
Now with more and more freshmen, Clark, making the jump to the pros, we can expect to hear more stories like this, I'm sure.
Well, without question, Kevin, that's the case in the landscape that we find ourselves in. But, you know, there's something to be said for developing all 4 years in college when that's the best route for an individual player. Nowadays, I think, unfairly so, there's a ton of pressure on young guys sometimes to leave prematurely. We'll see if Freak's decision pays off for him long term.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Pelicans.
Boy, you have to admire their intensity in the paint defensively. I mean, really contesting and even blocking shots. Definitely a factor early.
And also, they've been really active on the defensive end in terms of applying pressure and coming away with steals.
The big men are Anderson and Davis. Norris Cole is out there with Gordon, and it's Babbitt in at the 3. So that's the group out there for New Orleans.
And, you know, guys, Eric Gordon was an unbelievable three-point shooter last season. 45% from behind the arc. The first time he's been over 40% in his career. Well, I like the way he orchestrated in tight that time, fellas.
Pelicans leading by 4. Here's Cole. 9-point game his last outing, and he gets it to go. Cole's got his first bucket of the night. For Memphis, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Udrich up top.